Hey, you guys, happy 4th of July. Hello, hello. How are y'all? I was looking for a song to listen to, but I need to update my library with some new songs. Hello. I wanted to come and talk about a few things. I really wanted to do like an entire thing about these angry spirits of slavery in the South. I may elaborate on that a little bit later. I just got to get my head around it as far as like what I want to actually talk about um with that. But so I wanted to address a couple of things, which is all about breaking free from an abuser. Um, our society has still not gotten there yet, especially when you look at Black society. With Black women still do not have rights as far as when it comes to uh, dealing with the community, dealing with sometimes our own community, as far as with breaking free from abusive relationships. Uh, as a Black woman, I wasn't taught this. I was taught independence and don't take no crap from no man. That's what my family taught me. Okay. My mother, my grandmother, I wasn't raised that way. I wasn't raised to take abuse. I wasn't raised to stay with a man that cheats on me. I wasn't raised that way. Um, However, when you get in a relationship with a man, sometimes he wants to groom you to be who you want him to be. And that's impossible. I don't care if you use witchcraft, hoodoo, voodoo. If a person is just not for you, they are just not the right one for you. Honestly, I this has been a debate that's been going on. Uh, please do not think that you're not powerful or that witchcraft and magic and the wonders are not real just because you can't use it to change this person into the person that you want them to be, even if it's positive change. If somebody needs a positive change and it's even good for them, right? You know how like toxic people need to stop being toxic? That would be for their own sake. But you can't necessarily change it with witchcraft and magic. You can't. So it's the same goes when it comes to some of these males out here that are using the craft. You can't use witchcraft to groom a lover into being who you want them to be or to mold and shape them. You can't do it, especially when it comes to a woman. So instead of, you know, going through all of those changes, just let it go. Honestly, that's how I feel about the situation. And some people don't know how to let go. There's some people that people never let them go. It can either be a blessing or a curse. That situation when you're a woman and the men in your life don't want to let you go, even when you've asked them to. So, um, but I wanted to come and speak about, and I may end up changing the title of this video, What I want to talk about, hey Roselle, hey Ivy, hello. Family first. If you have a cocaine addiction, please go and seek help, hon. Go to a rehabilitation center. Those places actually do work. Okay. All right. So people can really take you to some dark places, can't they? I can tell you. Oh no, you got into an argument with your friend. Oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry. That sucks, man. You know what? I have a theory about that I'm going to be discussing during this live, actually. As far as the anger and hatred, when it comes to, in particular, African Americans carrying anger and hatred. So I'm going to talk about that. But first of all, so it appears that my ex abuser is still alive. Wonderful. He didn't die in Hurricane Beryl. That's nice. I wanted to alert the community that and to reassure everybody, and I've actually spoken to my own children about this, that he is permanently out of our lives. He's no longer allowed um, around us. We're completely done. He is, so because a lot of people assume, and I can hear what people are thinking. Okay, I can feel the vibrations, and I know what he wants people to believe, because for some reason it's a part of his self-esteem to uh make believe that he can treat people any way that he wants to treat them, and they're not going to leave him. So that's something that I can smell and hear coming from his consciousness all the time. He even trolls the internet saying that, oh, she's never going to leave me. She's never going to actually, it's never actually over. Well, I hate to break it to him. It's definitely over. Permanently. Permanently over. Okay. And that's, several factors with that. And people actually, which is really sad, and people should not do this, which is why I'm always a great support system for women and men, actually, that are leaving abusive situations. The one thing that the abuser unfortunately pulls off, and people need to stop doing this, is it they can create distrust. So because of the abuser, because of the times that you've went back to the abuser causes this side effect to where people don't believe you when you say it's over. It's like they don't trust you. And I think people should be careful with that, because I've known many women that have dealt with physically abusive relationships, mentally, emotionally. And when they're done with that situation, unfortunately, they don't get credit for it. It's almost like they're being treated like, oh, you're not really done with that person, which I think is disgusting for people to do that. Because people are aware of the abuse, regardless to if a person has been abused and they went back previously. When a person has broken free, let them stay broken free of that person. There's a lot of people who will try to assist the abuser by furthering the abuse. thinking that that is a way to get the person back. In fact, an abuser, when they know it's over, they will abuse you even more. That is as a tactic of trying to get you back. And it's very unfair. I do not agree with it. I do not like it. And of course, I'm a witch. Just because a woman gets it, just because a witch gets into a relationship with an abuser does not make her less of a witch, and it does not make her weak. Okay, it does not make her spirits weak. There have been many, many, many witches that have dealt with abusive men. It does not discredit them. Unfortunately, you have people out here that are so desperate that want to be witches that they will try to use that as a way of discrediting a person. Okay. So, I wanted to assure people that just because he's still alive does not mean that when he comes back to Georgia, he's going to be allowed to be anywhere near me or my children. And this time, because I'm not necessarily moving out of Georgia right away, by the time he gets back, I'll still be here. Okay. But I'm going to be in a location that he does not know about. Is he going to be a homeless shelter? No, it's not. Okay. Just because you're an abuser doesn't mean you can push a woman into a battered women's shelter. Okay. If anything, I would probably, it's nothing wrong with going to a battered women's shelter. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I'm a hard worker. I am very dedicated. I am very dedicated to my family. When I set a goal for something, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Okay. When I set an intention to do something, you best to believe that it's going to happen. Okay. Don't even play with me. Being in a, and I think that there were people in, and I don't even know why. I don't get it, but I do think that there were people that adapted to the situation to where they felt like with the way that he was, that weakened me. Actually, it made me stronger. He never weakened me, but people can assume whatever they want. Everybody want dibs in it. Everybody wanted some kind of dibs in it for some reason, because seeing a man be abusive and disrespectful to a woman somehow empowers people. No, that to me that seems like a warped sense of view. um that situation is over permanently. And the way that I spoke about him last night is the only way to let people know I don't care about him, and I don't need him to care about me. And I think that it's a lot of people that got that really, and see, this is what irritates me about him being so fake, because people know how society sees women that are being abused. They see women that are being abused and degraded in some kind of way as weak. And I think that part of his fake persona and the fact that he was willing to be a part of a fake community of people, okay, who don't represent the black community. They don't represent all black people. They don't. So, he will not have any knowledge of where my whereabouts are. That is a fact. Okay. Men can do all sorts of things. They have figured it out. They have figured out how to work the system. I don't have any children with him, so I don't have to answer to him, right? But if you are leaving an abuser and you have children with them, They will use those children to try to get next to you. And typically it's done through CPS or DFACS. I have seen and heard about men that will harass their ex through DFACS or CPS, in particular if that woman is on any kind of benefits. I'm not on any benefits. The system, it is broken when it comes to women. They require you to have medical insurance, and women that do qualify for some kind of state medical insurance for their kids, their names are going to be in the system. So my thoughts on the situation is that women need more protection from these men. It was a social experiment that I was willing to be a part of, but I realized how broken society really is, especially when it comes to Black society, which leads me into these angry spirits of their angry spirits of the South, slavery spirits of the South. Why are they so angry? Well, let me just start off by saying this. I'm witnessing Black anger because somebody has created a troll account, which I believe is my ex. And I believe that he has went back to calling my youngest son a cave baby because he's biracial. Hey sis, how are you? Beautiful. So, that makes me feel extremely uncomfortable, but also seeing it, you have to know what you're dealing with, which is the reason why I keep my son at home and I homeschool him, because I have a lot of psychotic, crazy Black people who are in a group, a cult, that hate white people. This is a fact. They hate my son because he is biracial. That is a fact. They may show hatred for my other children, but their main target is my youngest child because he's biracial. Now, does my youngest child deserve to be spiritually attacked, have his family stigmatized by a bunch of trolls that are Black trolls, Black people trolling the internet, lying, doing smear campaigns? Does my son deserve that? None of my children deserve that, but especially my youngest son. Does he deserve to have his life upside down and chaotic because of a group of Black people that actually hate white people, not Mexican people, not Puerto Rican people? Jacob's father is white. He's not Mexican, Puerto Rican, Cuban. No, he's a white man. Does my son deserve that? Hell no. I protect my youngest son just like I protect my older three. Okay, I have four children that are older. All of my other children are grown. Okay, so I think people need to open their eyes to really, really, really see why I have been under attack. And these Black people are not going to admit it. There's even people in my family that hate me for having a child with a white man. I don't know what it is. It's the year 2024, and Black people, some of them seem to be possessed by these entities or spirits of slavery That is a slave spirit. It is. It's not a jinn or a goetic demon. No, it's a spirit that's possessing these people. People don't realize that spirits can possess people. Everybody always talks about demons, but what I've learned in my practice and observation is that people can be possessed by unknown spirits, forgotten spirits. Okay, trust me, I know all about it. uh the location that I am in right now, our water supply comes from the city that used to be Oscarville, which is Lake Lanier. Our water supply, the water from Lake Lanier runs through my pipes, which it's not to say that there's not bad spirits that are of white origin. I'm not saying that. But there's a lot of angry spirits that are black. Usher's son, I believe, died in Lake Lanier, or it was either his son or stepson that died at Lake Lanier. His Usher's baby mama wants them to drain Lake Lanier, um, because it's not people. When they look at Oscarville and when they look at Lake Lanier, it's not just that black people die mysteriously at that lake all the time or almost die. So and what I came to the realization with a lot of these people, in particular these people in the South, they have possessions by angry spirits. You're not supposed to just let any spirit take over your body. There's a lot of people who claim to be mediums, but yet they don't know how to control these spirits, and you should. You should know thyself, and you should know how you are supposed to feel and think. You should not just go with any spirit that possesses you. Okay. And I've talked about this several times, about the way that people are reading. The way people are doing these readings is very dangerous. An example of that would be that movie with Monique called The Reading, of how this girl was going around doing these spiritual readings for people where she was allowing these spirits to possess her. You should never do that. You should always make sure that you set an intention. You have to set an intention to read a situation or to read a spirit or to get messages from a spirit without becoming possessed. You don't just let yourself become possessed by any old spirit. No. Now, I'm a medium. And the way my spirit guides are, they're very good. They refuse to allow me to be possessed by random spirits. No, that's dangerous. Oh, do they really? I didn't know. Oh, I think you told me about that. I'd like to see the TV show about Lake Lanier. Yeah, so I love my people. Okay, I do have black um ancestors. My family, if you research and look at the Briscoes, they are biracial. They are. You look at my uncle Sonny, he's not just he's obviously very, very Japanese and Indian. Okay. There was a mixture of Japanese and Indian that's in the Briscoe family. So, that's just what it is. I've had black people get angry at me for saying that. I don't know why. Telling me that you just a nigga or either a nigga with the E hard ER. But unfortunately, what we have to acknowledge, and I think it's important to acknowledge this even in the spiritual community, is the angry, evil, and diabolical slave spirits that haunt the South. It is a fact. It is a fact that these spirits haunt the South, and they don't care about black people. They don't care about their own people. These are angry spirits. I want people to be aware of this. Listen, I've I love looking at videos about certain things, especially when it comes to Louisiana. The different mental hospitals and what has happened to people. I get it. I get it, right? However, I don't want to say feeling sorry, but having empathy for these lost souls does not mean that you have to allow abuse from them. I want everybody to know and to be very well aware of lost souls and spirits all over, but in particular, they're very condensed in the South, in particular, the Deep South of slaves are either angry blacks that are deceased but still roam the earth. They do exist, and they don't care about black people. They definitely don't like no white person, but they don't care about black people either. Some of them don't even know that they're deceased, or they can't accept that they are deceased and they can't move on. So instead, they stay stuck here. This is the one thing that nobody in these so-called responsible people in the spiritual community are not talking about is these spirits that won't move on. And I think that that's a mistake because people are so focused on being possessed. Okay, if you're a medium, it's very easy for you to become possessed by spirits, and I see people possessed all the time. You don't have control over that, you can absolutely become possessed. Okay. So what I'm noticing is, and this is where a lot of this is coming from, is these angry slave spirits. Not every spirit of a slave person that I've ran into, a departed slave person that I've ran into, is angry. But there are many of them. And I think that that's why people were saying that it's kind of difficult to get out of Georgia. It's kind of difficult to get out of the South, even if you wanted to. And it don't have nothing to do with necessarily slave masters, but the slaves themselves, all of them. You got to think about it. Think about, even though they tried to brainwash the slaves into believing that this was normal behavior, I mean, after 500, 400 years of slavery, you're not going to be able to brainwash everybody. So a lot of those slaves that were murdered and treated badly, they roam amongst us, and they're angry at everybody. Okay. Being protected from bad spirits, I think that this is something that the black community has missed a lot. Being protected from bad spirits doesn't just stop with that. You can't just assume that you can say, "Oh, rest in peace to the lost slaves," and they're actually resting in peace, because they're not. You can try to appease those spirits. You can try to appease them. You can show them respect. But what do you do when you have one that is malignant? What if it's a malignant spirit that you can't appease? No matter what you give to it, it's never enough. So this is something that I'm going to focus on prior, because I don't want any of these spirits following me, because they're angry. They're angry because they were not allowed to live because they were slaves. Now, again, slavery was everywhere, all over the United States, all over the world. It's happened to more than just black people, it's happened to all people at some point. Some people don't really talk about their history of slavery, in particular when it came to internalized slavery in the white community. They don't really talk about that. And they have every right to set the standard of what they're going to speak about in the future. Black people, unfortunately, they don't really understand the value of, you can talk about that history, but don't live that history, right? They don't understand that. So when it comes to like the spirits, the lost spirits of slaves and stuff, all of them ain't good. And all of them don't see you as black. Because again, back during that time, the African slaves and people that were freed from slavery, they were they were at war with other indigenous people. They were at war with them too. So that's something that's rarely talked about the people that we know as Native American, right? I know that a lot of black people will say, well, we're the Native Americans. We're the okay. But we know who we're talking about, the people with the long hair and the right. They've got long straight hair, and they have the high cheekbones. Okay, some of us are mixed, but there was actually a war between the two. I have ran into quite a few very angry, spirited black people. And these people do have spirits, and they are considered to be ancestral, but they are still very angry, very murderous, very toxic. So every single spirit that's walking around here that's black ain't my friend, right? And this the same thing goes for you. You have to set an intention to be protected from bad spirits. In fact, I've picked up on how some of these spirits don't want black people, even to this day, to be free. They want us to go through slavery just like they did. All of them ain't good. That's why you have people, black people, that run around here totally under possession, treating other blacks very poorly. That's why. So every ancestral spirit that's considered to be black is not good. That is a fact. Now, am I saying that you have to be protected by the blood of Jesus? I don't believe in the blood of Jesus. I don't have to. I'm not Christian. Okay? I have the right to my own spiritual beliefs. But there are ways of protecting yourself from these spirits. Okay? So, this is the reason why you see so many black people at odds with one another, very hateful and spiteful, very vindictive. And then the ones that are unaware, because you don't have to be, here's the thing, here's the scary thing about it, is that you don't have to be a medium or a psychic to become possessed. A spirit can possess anybody. You don't have to be a medium. It makes it easier if you're a medium, but you don't have to be a medium or a psychic to be possessed. And this is what we're up against and it's angry female and male spirits. And it makes a lot of sense. Why would a woman in 2024 that is from the South condone another woman being sexually assaulted? Why would that be a thing? I'm not blaming it just on that, but I think that these people are affected by spirits and they don't know it. They go under possession, and you can even tell when it's something that is possession, because a person that has been possessed will have no understanding of what they did. And there are just bad people that are just bad people in this world. Yes, it is. Okay. But anytime it's something dire as that, anytime they are doing things just like the Kanika Jenkins case, you see, like, what I felt all over that, like, just looking at the video, it was very creepy. It was very traumatizing looking at that entire video. Just the sounds and the people and the energy that was coming from those people. Most of those people were possessed. A lot of those people were possessed. It doesn't shock or surprise me that what happened to her happened to her. It doesn't. Okay. And you got to protect yourself. You have to protect your children, because every black person walking around here ain't good. Okay. Seriously. It don't have nothing to do with skin color, even. But um I think that these spirits that are bad, I see them as bad spirits. I don't take into consideration necessarily what they went through. What I see it as is just a bad spirit. Yes, some of them, a lot of them are black spirits, angry spirits of the South that were slaves. And they attack mainly and possess black people because some of them want vengeance, and some of them just in general hate other blacks. So it's a lot to deal with. And I don't have the time nor the energy to be dealing with black hate. I don't want to be a part of a group of people that hate each other and they're black, especially because I already know what's going on right there. I don't want to be amongst a group of anybody that's showing hatred. I feel like as adults, you mature as an adult to where if you have some kind of disagreement with someone, you should be able to work it out, or y'all should be able to have a healthy debate. It shouldn't turn into violence and death threats. It should never turn into that, right? So now what I have happening right now is a group of black people that have already been stalking me for years, that are now trying to get more people to stalk me, that are trying to convince an entire new and larger community of black people to attack me by trying to convince that larger group of people that I am a pedophile and a rapist. This is what black people right now are doing to me, right now as we speak. This is what an angry black man over in Chicago is trying to do right now, even though he knows, trust me, they all know that it's a lie. They all know that they just made it up because they wanted to. I think it was because they wanted to rob me personally. You can't rob an empty house. Okay. They are now trying to convince and spread their hatred for me predicated upon angry black women to a larger community of people so that those people can now express hatred and attack me and my family as well. This is what black people are doing right now. Okay. Now, you explained to me, is that normal? Now, all of this got started by a woman in the South, a very angry woman in the South, very angry and spiteful woman in the South. Okay. So these people are trying to extend their numbers, expand their numbers to force people to hate me by lying to the public. Okay. So for me, this is my whole thing about it. I personally believe that these people belong in jail. They've already committed the crime of stalking people. Okay. But I think that the way that I'm going to deal with it is in a different way. Trust me, we've got a plan of action. Trust me, we do. Trust me. There's always a plan for that. There's always a spell for that. And it just is what it is. When I took a close look at what other black people were trying to do while trying to hide behind white people. So there's currently a war against me simply because I have a biracial child. These people have no respect, no regard for my child simply because my son is biracial. Now, we've already witnessed black people going around social media calling and referring to some black women as bed wenches, which is disgusting. What in the world is going on? All I got to say is that I'm going to defend myself and my spirits are going to defend me. Because I don't necessarily depend on the ancestors, maybe my ancestors of my bloodline, because I know my family. I wasn't adopted out. I know exactly who my people are. And I'm familiar with them. And I was raised by my grandpa, my great grandpa. I was raised within the loving arms of my grandmother and her elders. Okay. So I have roots. I have a very strong foundation within that. But as far as like feeling like every black ancestor, every black spirit is good to me, no. I want black people to become aware of this, especially if you're in the spiritual community or if you do any kind of spirit work or if you're anywhere in the South. Okay, it's got to be said. It does. It has to be said. The sad part about it is that this further um, exacerbates the racism. There are a lot of many spirits of black slaves that do not want to see black people free to this day. These are very old spirits that have been around for years. That's one of the reasons why Santa Muerta, when I began to really deeply work with her, she taught me how to trap these spirits because some of them just need to be trapped because they're malignant. They're curses. Okay. Now, again, I also have to deal with the judgment of people. People thinking, oh, she ain't about to be through with him. She can't get away from him. Yes, I am, and yes, I will for good. He won't even know where we reside very soon. He has tried to be threatening to me. He has tried to tell me no matter where you go, those people are going to find you because that's the way that he wants it. No dice, not going to happen. And trust me, I've these people are so malignant that I've thought about leaving this country, taking my family and fleeing this country. These black people are so malignant. Instead, I'll stay and I'll see them to jail or either hell, whichever one that they choose. So possession is real. And these people will become a gateway for these spirits and they will possess people. They will do that. That's why I'm very careful about who in the heck I watch or what I listen to on YouTube. In particular, when it comes to people that are yelling and screaming at one another, people that are constantly having some kind of beef with one another. That would mean that those people probably aren't really in control of themselves. Something else is controlling those people. So I tend to steer clear of stuff like that. These people on YouTube, you hear stupid, dumb people saying things like, don't call the police on a black man. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. The evils that are in social media, they are purposely inputting and inserting themselves into your real life, or they're trying to. The dude that I'm done with, the one that I wasn't hoping that he died. I just was thinking about what if he was dead. He was like more like an implant. I've been loved before. I've been loved immensely by quite a few men before, and I know what love looks like. And trust me, he wasn't no love. That wasn't no love. That was a person that was implanted into my life by the black community so that he could tear me down and so that they could always have access to me and know where I am. That's it. He's assisting these people in further attacking me. I'm going to suggest the people that are in that other community to not go any further. Do not start making what the guy over in Chicago, he was tagging people. If you go look at his wall, he was tagging people. People that are in that other sector was tagging this one person, to lying to this person, telling this person that I'm a child molester, telling this person that I'm a bad person just so that she can start attacking me. This is a grown black man in his 30s. Needless to say, needless to say, I'm doing everything that I can to get this man thrown in jail. He's trying to spread the hatred, and the hatred for me that was based upon a lie, trying to spread it to other communities and lie to people. Just so that I can be attacked in social media, just so that people can look at me as something that I am not. So all skin folk ain't your kin folk. And of course, we all know why I'm a target, because this is how the elders that are online, they consider these people to be elders. Listen, my elder is Sherry Lynn Briscoe. My elder is Lena Briscoe, Forstein Boston. Those are my elders. Nobody like in social media has the right to force you to bow down to them while they attack your family and your reputation and lie on you. Nobody has the right to do that. I don't care if you're 99 years old. So that's for the pits. That ain't gonna happen. Okay. So just to reassure y'all, yes, we are moving out of this house. These people have went even as far as to everybody should be freaked out by that older lady over in Alabama. If you trust her when she does you dirty, don't come crying to me. Don't come crying to me. When she, well, you can come crying to me. It's just that you're gonna have to pay me to deal with that, because what she tries to conjure is very chaotic energy that once held black people captive in the first place. So this is the reason why I do not contend with the Bible. I don't do it because that Bible was used to enslave black people in the first place. So I can't on good faith go out there and do that. Now there's certain things in the Bible that I do like. I'm not even gonna lie to you. One of the things is about being a Christian. Christians are technically not supposed to judge nobody. They're not supposed to judge us witches. They're not supposed to do that. So basically, when a Christian does that, even though they can uproot your life, they can cause a bunch of problems, they can do a bunch of stuff, it's still wrong for them to judge, because they're going to be judged for the judge. That's why I am not Christian. Why would I choose a religion like that? I'm not going to do it. Okay. So, we are moving. No, he will not ever find out where we live. And hopefully these people will all be in jail or gone within the next 10 years. I'm serious about it, because it's something wrong with a person that discovers a person on the internet, and develop parasocial hate for them for 10 plus years. There's something very abnormal about that. And yes, you are considered to be a fraud spiritualist anytime you are in the South and you cannot control your own spirits. You're possessed by angry slave spirits, and you're out here taking it out on anybody that is lighter than a brown paper bag. You're a fraud to me. You cannot do work for people. You cannot give anybody any advice when you can't even control your own spirits. You can't even control a spirit and stop it from possessing you. A random spirit that's making you attack a woman and her family because she has a biracial child, making you attack her children because they're lighter than a brown paper sack. You're a fraud. You're a fraud when you are supposed to be a spiritualist, but the only way that you can get attention is by purposely causing division, more division and chaos amongst black people. Purposely making up things. You're a fraud. We got enough problems than to have people out here that are supposed to be spiritualists and witches creating more problems, causing more messes for people to have to clean up. That, my friend, is a fraud. Okay. So just FYI. And I appreciate those of you that still support my business. I am going to fight tooth and nail for my rights. My rights were taken away from me. My civil rights were taken away from me for the first time in my life by Black people. This is a fact. Okay. So I appreciate those of you that support me and support my business. Um, I'm definitely going to move on and move beyond this, even though Black people don't want me to, because something is wrong with these people. They can't be counted on, they can't be dependent upon. The only thing that needs to happen to most of them is that they need to go to jail anytime there is a over a 10-year conspiracy. See, what I'm going to try to get through to, and I'm gathering evidence, all I'm doing is building evidence against these people, is the conspiracy and corruption. Yes, you can go to prison for committing conspiracy against a person, and then that's fraud. Okay. So I'm going to try to get fraud charges put on whoever it is that are manufacturing these pictures, in particular, that disgusting photo of me and my son, that can be and constitute as fraud because it was photoshopped, even though it can't be considered child pornography because there's no nudity, even though that we know that they try to make it look sexual. That is fraud. You're committing a fraud because everybody, including the police and DFACS, has seen all of the original footage. There was nothing deleted, even if it was deleted off of YouTube. A lot of these people don't understand that when you delete something, and I don't understand why they don't get this. That's just like people that keep child pornography on their phone or their computer. Just because you delete something does not mean that it's gone. So making a video on YouTube and then deleting it doesn't mean that it's gone. If the police are doing an investigation, if the police are doing an investigation, they can easily go to YouTube and say, hey, I need this video from this day. And YouTube is able to retrieve it. They're not going to retrieve it for us if it's a video that's deleted, but they will retrieve it for the police. This is a fact. The original report that went in stated that I was not straddling my son, but that I was penetrating him with a device. If you look closely at that picture, they were not trying to say that. They were trying to say something far more disgusting, which never went on. We were never in that position. I've never done that to anybody, let alone my own children. This is what these people reported to DFACS as well as the police using a photoshopped picture. The Black lady that initially came to my house to speak to me, to check on me, she said, I already know what's going on. I just want to make sure that everybody's okay because I know you have people stalking you. It's exactly what this Black lady said to me from DFACS. She didn't even bother to tell me what these sick people reported. I already know 8 years later what they tried to tell them. So listen, y'all need to be weary of everybody that is cool with that situation because they ain't right. And all of them have pending cases against them. Yes, we will see these people to prison. This is a fact. Now, the guy that is stalking um uh my sister, okay, He's definitely headed to prison, and we're going to make it happen because this guy has to be taken off of the streets. Okay. He does. He has to be taken off of the streets. I don't, listen, I'm not ignorant. I don't go by no snitch rule. You need to be in jail because now what you're doing, and it doesn't matter that you have white friends over there supporting you. It doesn't matter. They're not the ones that are making the ultimate decision. He just tried to scapegoat on somebody else for what he's doing to his own people. Okay. You don't have no excuse for doing what you're doing. He's sharing things in his wall, on his wall, to get other people to believe in that garbage of what these people made up 8 years ago so that they can also attack me and hate me as well. That black man over in Chicago is going to get locked up. And if they continue this, it's going to be a lot of them that are going to get locked up in prison because that's exactly where they belong. Whether or not they keep them in there for 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, that's where they're going. No woman, black or white, should have to deal with people who make up things, create horrific things about people, right? They didn't create it to the point where they made me do it. No, they created it digitally. They're digitally creating this stuff. And then you're going to get a whole community of people to do crowd attacks on a person. Not going to happen. It's over. So, as far as I'm concerned, everything that they do from this moment forward is being reported to the police. And eventually, they are going to get locked up. Okay. So, it just is what it is. Every black person don't deserve their freedom because they're out there committing crimes and disturbing the peace of people's lives. That's not BLM or Black Lives Matter. No, Black lives do matter, but we're not going to put the life of Black people before every damn body. Because the Black community, these Black people that are attacking me, they don't actually consider me to be Black at all. I'm not a part of their community. It's been that way since I was a child. Yes, I was raised by a loving family that loved me and accepted me, but going out into this world, I knew what they was thinking. A lot of them didn't consider me to be black. They didn't treat me like a black person. They didn't treat me like I fit in. So I know exactly how they can be. We're not going to ever live in a society where the only life that matters is the life of an angry, pissed off black man that's going around committing crimes in his community and everywhere else. We're not gonna live there. We're not gonna go there. We're not gonna go there with them. We're not gonna play that game. There's a difference between online roasting and making up digitally created things to attack people. There's a difference between roasting and sending people to somebody's house in their town to attack them. Trust me, there's somewhere in the law where there that is against the law. So, whatever it is that they're doing in their group, it has been done extended past what is supposed to be harmless online roasting and cracking and going back and forth. Okay, it's gone beyond that. There is no way as a black person that I'm going to live in a community where black thugs and criminals are running my community. No. No. I don't covet black men like that. If you a black man and you run into an issue and you may have to throw hands with somebody, that's different. But somebody that's literally carrying out a conspiracy, literally using themselves as a person to attack innocent black people, you're not going to be allowed to do that as a black man. You're going to meet my sword. You're going to meet my spiritual hands every single time. And there's nobody, I don't care how old they are or how long their dreadlocks are or who they think they are not going to assist or help you get away with that. Not going to happen. And every black person that's walking around here has the right of choice to live a life that's happy and free and sovereign of this ignorant black crap. I'm with Charles Barkley on everything he said. We may even be able to blame religion, because what religion does is it dumbs people down. It's literally turning people into these zombies to where they don't know anything about spirit. They don't know anything from our ancestors. They don't really know how to protect themselves from bad spirits. So they're running around here very malignant. I can honestly tell you that I have a lot of black ancestors that I work with, and those black ancestors are at war with the bad ones. The black people do have bad African ancestors. This is a fact. And our good ancestors fight with the bad ones all the time. Trust me. It's a lot of them very malignant, very angry spirits. They will not stop being angry. They were angry because of whatever happened to them during their lifetime. And yes, it does have roots in slavery. Yes, it does. Does that mean that a black person in 2020 or 2000 or 2024 has to suffer because of that? No, but they want to see you suffer. Your own people, wake up. Stop thinking that all black people got your back, because they don't. Stop thinking that, oh, I feel so sorry for this, and that. Yeah, I do feel sorry. I do feel sorry for what happened during slavery. It's sad. It's fucked up. It's messed up, right? Okay. However, however, y'all got to understand, what is the byproduct of that? What is the aftermath of that? You think that you really honestly believe that when those black slaves were beaten to death or hung, that they just went and ascended into heaven and everything was okay and they was with the Lord? You're gullible. You're lying to yourselves, because spirits are very real. Okay. So some of the spirits of those slaves still roam today, and they're very angry, and they don't care if you black or white. They will attack you and do whatever they can. Just like I swear to y'all, spirits are just like that movie Ghost. It is, that movie was, I know it's a movie, but it was very close to what spirits can actually do. And yes, spirits can make objects move. Yes, they can. They can fling stuff across the room. Yes, they can. As a mother of four, I'm a real mother. Okay. If you are a spirit of a black man that hates the white man, and because I gave birth to a biracial child, you think that you're going to attack my child, you're going to get trapped. I'm going to trap that spirit. I'm not going to let a bad spirit attack my son. Neither of my sons. I have two sons and two daughters. It doesn't matter if you're black. You can't come to me and say, hey, I'm a black man. I can attack your kid because he's white. He's a cave baby. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Yeah. And see, this is the kind of black hate that we're dealing with. Somebody right now, and I told y'all and warned y'all about those people, that they literally hate you because of the color of your skin. First of all, there's a lot of black people that ignorantly believe that all light-skinned black people came from being mixed, and that's not true. That is not true about the origins of Africa. It is the exact truth that African people were many, many shades. It wasn't race mixing. It may have changed the dynamic of the hair texture, race mixing, which not always. I've seen mixed children with very, very kinky, coily hair. But all black people in ancient Egypt were not dark skinned, that they were various shades of color. This is the kind of ignorance that we're dealing with, though. Colorism. Colorism and hate and racism within the black community, that who thinks that that's entertaining? I don't think that that's entertaining, and I don't want to be a part of it. Now, whoever that is that's over there calling my child a cave baby, okay, well, you know what? He got ancestors. He has white ancestors that love him very much. Shall I invoke them for the protection of my family? Do we really want to go there while you're over there calling my baby a cave baby? Then you'll ask yourself, why? Why can't they just, I've asked them, why can't you just move on? Why are they putting up videos? Why is this guy who was implanted? He's not an ex, he's an implant. He was implanted. He's fake. Why is he over there behind a troll account calling himself Gumball, calling my child a cave baby? Why can't he stop stalking? I'm going to tell you why. Because he's possessed. He has no control over what he thinks or feels or does. So at this point, what I am looking forward to happening, and this is going to happen, is that we're going to get out of this house. Because really, to be honest with you, they're trying to trap me here almost. Right? Because they have some sick fantasy about police coming and dragging me off of the. We're going to move out of this house. This maniac is never going to know where I live. And we're going to move on, and I'm going to continue to run my business and not worry about these people. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Over the past, especially the past year or two, I found several ways of dealing with people like this. Although they're looking for ways constantly to try to invade you, technically they can't actually invade upon you on the internet. They would love to think that, but they can't. You know, they think if they come on YouTube and say something about you, that they're actually standing in your living room over you with a noose around your damn neck, whipping you, and that's not the truth. So in reality, what needs to happen is that people need to stop giving these black people attention with the crap that they do. And really, I'm disappointed in the YouTube community, because if we actually had a real community, a lot of these people would be locked up by now. Now, being that they did flag this channel so that there would be more of them watching than me, because trust me, I already know this live only got like a few thumbs up. It's only a few people over here that got good sense. The rest of it is them who don't have no good sense at all. So they basically wanted to silence me, which was the point of flagging this channel, so that people would know, because they knew if this channel was popping the way that it technically should be, the way that it was, They know that people in the community would know the truth, and these people would be in prison where they belong. If a black man is doing that, he belongs behind bars. If he commits a crime, he belongs behind bars. If a black man is inciting hatred and bullying in an online community, harassing people, swatting people, he belongs in jail. He don't belong nowhere else. And I personally want them all in jail for spreading rumors and lies about me. That has got to be a criminal intent. And trust me, work can be done to make sure that he goes to jail, even before he physically enters that jail cell. He's going to jail. I don't covet nor stick up. I don't stand by a black man that would do that, going around lying on an innocent woman, trying to get others involved so that you can attack because for whatever reason because you're angry. Uh-uh. He's going to jail. And I want the person, I'm going to be honest with you, the person that started that rumor, I'm going to talk to the Department of Justice about the whole thing. I'm going to have a sit down with them. That's kind of why that they're trying to figure out what to do, and they ain't going to do nothing. But I'm going to sit down and talk to the Department of Justice about this thing that they started based upon false pretenses, based upon something that they made up. I'm going to be speaking to the Department of Justice about who initially started that, and I want jail time for that person too. Whoever started that rumor about me, all of the people that are involved, I want every last one of them to be in prison. So I will be speaking to a lot of people about that, and you're not going to get away with it, you disgusting black men. Any black man that is going around saying anything disgusting about me, any of you that's doing it, if you a black man or a black woman, please look forward to going to prison because that is factually against the law for you to make up crimes that somebody never committed. That's actually against the law. You can do jail time for that. That's not necessarily a civil issue. That's not slander. That goes beyond slander. I'm getting a lot of these people locked up very soon because of that. They can add that to their list of charges. You're going to jail. That is a fact. Okay? Not only am I going to testify in a courtroom, but I am also going to make sure that I do spiritual work to make sure that you are brought to justice, to make sure that you go to jail. You're not going to ruin my platform. You're not going to ruin social media for me. You're not going to make it more. Do y'all know that these people started talking about me years ago? They were not only trying to ruin my reputation in social media, but they were also trying to stop me from even getting a job. Y'all know that employers look you up in social media. They were trying to stop me from being employable. You're going to prison. Get ready. Get ready. And whoever has implicated themselves in this crime, I will speak to the Department of Justice about them all. Here's my standards for the black community. We're not going to have a group of black terrorists running around here terrorizing people. I'm not about to let it happen. Not on my land, not on my earth. Are you going to get away with going around terrorizing people? I'm going to get you all. Don't come to me talking to me about that. Oh, I'm a black man and we need to keep the government out of our business. Trust me, the government is already in your business. They heard everything that you said and they watched everything that you've done. It's just that you got people that are doing voodoo and hoodoo to stop justice and negate justice. There's going to be karma for that. If you are, I don't care if you're a black woman, if you're a white woman and you doing spiritual work, and you conjuring these spirits to protect these black men, you're gonna get it too. Okay. Now I'm gonna go and celebrate my Independence Day. I hope that you guys have a happy Independence Day. There's a lot of people that don't deserve their freedom. Okay. Listen, I believe every person should be free. Every person should be free, right? But when you're out here committing crimes against humanity and you're committing crimes against children and you're committing crimes the way that these people have been doing, today you go to jail today. Thank you, Stevan Harris. Happy 4th of July to you too. Thank you. Yeah, you going to jail. Any black man on here that has committed a crime against me, that has not tried to assist me, that is facilitated at any of them. Okay. The only one that has never took to that disgusting rumor about me is Lamar, and that's why me and Lamar are going to be best friends for life. Because Lamar was the only one. I love y'all too. Lamar was the only one that never repeated that rumor. That's why I believe that Lamar has opulence. Lamar has dignity. Lamar deserves all of the respect that he gets because he was the only black man associated with that sector that never repeated that lie. The rest of them that are repeating that lie, anybody that's involved, you better believe that you will be in jail shortly. Okay. So I'm going to go, y'all. I will see y'all later. I'm going to try to have more of a breakdown discussion of what I was talking about when it comes to malignant spirits so that y'all are not sleep on spirits and how some of them have been roaming around causing problems for years. Yes, I do believe that every human being is responsible for their own behavior, right? So I'm not coming with no, the devil made me do it. No, the devil ain't made you do it. But I do believe that people do need to be made aware of spiritual possession, and how that can happen. And so I do want to have more of an in-depth, you know, direct conversation, education about that. Okay. And how an angry spirit is an angry spirit. It don't matter if it's black or white. Okay. All right, y'all. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy y'all holiday. Don't forget about my 4th of July special that I'm running. Not sure how long it'll be on, but I know today definitely. Okay. So make sure y'all visit the website. I may not be able to get you scheduled today, but I can get you scheduled like, in the days to follow or whatever. Okay. Because I've got clients that are already, uh, looking to hear from me today, but you may be able to get squads in. Okay. All right, y'all. I'll see y'all later. Y'all have fun. Blessings. Bye bye.